Don't forget to do three things: subscribe, like, and share. What's going on? This is Nick from On the Block with Nick, a podcast designed to inspire, educate, and inform somebody somewhere around the world. Today on the block, we got a reoccurring guest, someone special, someone fun, someone fly. Lex, what's going on?
Hi. It's so good to be back.
Yeah. I know it's going to be a dope segment because you always have interesting points of view. So
Mhm.
let's really go ahead and dive into it. So, what I want to talk about is Dwyane Wade and, the events surrounding his family, his transgender daughter, and, things like that. So, my first question to you
Mhm.
is what are your thoughts when it comes to Dwyane Wade and his transgender daughter?
Okay, so my question is those are two different things. My thoughts about Dwayne Wade in terms of how he's handling his transgender daughter, or you know what I mean, or Dwayne Wade. Um, and his daughter is I'm not a transgender person, right? I'm not a trans person. So I don't want to ever make any comments that might be ignorant to whatever it is that they're going through because I would never know what that feels like. However, I think that Zaya has she has a better chance of living a full life because of her status, right? Because of her dad's status. There are not many children at her age that are going to have this understanding, this self awareness, this kind of support the way that she does because of her dad's status, so to speak. Him handling it the way that he is, I think, is really. And I don't know this to be true. He hasn't said it, but at this point, it's kind of like if you can't beat them, you might as well join them. Because what exactly is he supposed to do? You know what I mean? Tell her she's wrong, lock her up in the basement, like do what weird, other people other than our race do, like put her in a camp, try to change her mind. I can't imagine what it feels like to be in a body that doesn't feel like yours. Um, but I do know what it feels like to have parts of your body feel like it doesn't belong on your body, if that makes sense. Um, and that feels weird. Like if you're like think about like if your leg goes numb. You know how like your leg feels when it goes to sleep?
Mhm.
Imagine having that all the time. It would almost just feel like that doesn't belong to your body. It's almost feels like it's dead weight. So that's why I try to like, and I know what that feels like as a diabetic. Sometimes you just feel like certain parts of your body is not connected to the other parts. So him, Dwayne Wade, I really think it just had to come to some sort of term of let me try to figure this out because if not, I'm gonna lose my child. I'm gonna lose my daughter because that's what she would essentially do. She would then eventually just run away, and then that's where bad decisions happen. Um, so I think he's just kind of like, if you can't beat him, join him, and I'm gonna support the best way that I possibly can. And because he has the status that he does, she gets to become legally a female on all of her documentation at such a young age. But the people that I know that are trans, they didn't have that kind of luck and that kind of support that easily. And I mean, she's just gonna, she's in a generation where they get to say how they feel and people actually listen. We didn't have that. And it was like, shut up, girl. Go do something with yourself. So our parents would, I don't think our parents would have taken that seriously at all. They would have just been like, yeah, all right, whatever. Um,
So
so that's,
I think she's like 15.
yeah.
like 15 years old. So at that age, do you think that it's appropriate, or do you think, you know, 18 is more the right age for her to kind of do those things?
Right. When I spoke to my friend who's a transgender woman, I asked her, like, what would be the solid reasons for legally becoming a female on your documentation? So she explained to me that it just makes things easier for her when she goes to school and those kind of things. So say she goes to a new school. Well, I mean, she's already a high profile person, so they're gonna know her regardless. But a lot of the times you don't have to now be like, oh no, I was born at this, but now I'm this, and this is my name, and that kind of stuff. You can just kind of skip all of that. So I think that her doing that is for those reasons, so that she doesn't have to deal with which bathrooms she's going to use, those kind of things. As an adult, I would think those things, not that I think she's going to get into some trouble, but the only thing that I think about is like if you get locked up, those kind of things. Cause like they're going to have to put you by yourself. Like you can't just be with any population when you have those kind of situations. So I don't know. I 15, I had a job.
Mm,
You know what I mean? I had an actual job, a real job. Not like some SYP thing, which I'm okay with, but my mom wasn't able to get us in that. I had a real job. So I don't know. Like they would have to know their own child and know the maturity of their child and
mm,
what they would be able to handle. Because there would be 15-year-olds that are not mature enough to make these kind of decisions. But you should know that as a parent, if you're really uh, an active parent in your child's life, you should know that. So I don't know. I can't tell you if it's appropriate or not. I would just think that those things are being done so that she doesn't have to explain too many things so many times over and
mm.
over and over. So now you just got to keep telling your business to everybody. And after a while, I would like to think that she just wants to be a girl that is a girl. You know what I mean? As far as
Mhm.
her body parts go, like, like surgeries and that kind of thing, I think she should be of age before she makes those decisions. Uh, but I think her being legally documented as a girl, as a female, is just something that she's able to do. I mean, a lot of people are able to do this, but she's able to do quicker because of her money that she has
Yeah.
access to. You know what I mean? And I hope she feels incredibly blessed and understands that that's not a story that everybody else gets to have, because most of the time they don't feel accepted. And you hear very, very similar stories of them going to the street for support, and then they get into drugs. And you'd be surprised how many white people actually like this. So they get kept, like staying in the penthouse, but don't nobody know that some white man is paying for it so that he can come over there from time to time, but then go
Mhm.
back home to his wife, because they like the difference in this person. Um, but it's too shameful, we can't tell nobody that we like this. So they do those things and they get introduced to a lot of drugs and stuff like that early, and it could either make or break them. And a lot of people don't make it.
Yeah.
They
That's
don't make
sad.
it, and that's
That's sad.
sad.
That's
Because,
sad.
but I think it's just that she's just so high profile that we just happen to know. But there are trans kids everywhere, everywhere her age, even younger. On TikTok, I see so many kids that are just like vibrant and awesome, and their kids and their parents are just super supportive. Um, because what are you supposed to do after a while? Fight them? You just gonna fight your kid every day? Like, no, you're the boy. Like, like it has to be exhausting.
That's interesting. That point you just made, because it made me think of the dynamic between, his current wife Gabrielle Union and his
Hmm.
ex-wife, right?
Hmm.
And it seems as if all three of them are not in alignment in what's going
Really?
on.
Oh, see, I don't know about the relationship with Zaya's mom. So what has been put out there that they're not in alignment?
So I want to say that his ex-wife was not in agreement with Zaya,
Yeah, Zaya. Hmm.
Zaya, not changing her name until she became of age.
Oh.
So they went kind of back and forth in the media about certain things. Um, and Dwyane Wade clapped back at her for some things that she said, and it's kind of going back and forth. She really felt like he's using her for money and etc. and things like that. Um, I what what's interesting is the dynamics of it, right? The new wife, Gabrielle Union, she's open, right? I
Hmm.
mean, she looks like she's a free spirit, and
Yeah.
she's supporting him or her, I should say.
Hmm.
She's supporting her. Um, but she's not the biological mom, right?
Right.
So as a biological mother, um, you would think there's a certain connection and feeling, not being in that household, not being able to influence or have, that motherly influence on that child, right? What
Hmm.
are your thoughts on that?
That has to suck. When women lose custody of their children, I always question that because it's almost like the last thing a judge ever really wants to do, even when you have money, right? Like, even when you have money, there's several rich men and their kids still live with the mom, right? I don't know. I know that they had a tumultuous kind of custody battle with the kids at some point when they were younger, they were all boys and they were younger. Um, so I don't know. That says a lot to me. That tells me a lot personally.
Mhm.
But um, I don't know. All I know is that more than likely I would and be the stepmoms in a lot of situations, and I would think that most children talk to her. I mean, I listen to a lot of. I've read Gabrielle Union's books and those kind of things, and she's pretty honest. She's really actually way more honest than I thought she would be. Um, and she speaks a lot about being the stepmother and knowing that she has to pull back and understand her role in the in the situation of being a mom to them. So I don't know. Again, we don't like all this stuff is just what is they're edited snapshots of what people want you to know. And if your mother, your biological mother, is still trying to call you Joe, and you really like enough. You get what I'm saying? Like, this
Yeah.
is what I am. Like, these kids are smart, man. They're different. Their education is at a level that's so much higher than ours, than what we had. She, you can't tell her she's not self aware. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
She's so all of them, the other boys too. They're super smart. They're beautiful boys. So if when you go with your moms and she like Tyrone enough, I'm not. I'm just gonna call you Tyrone. Yeah, because I got a mom. I got a black mom. You know what I mean? She'd be like, I ain't calling you Alex. Your name ain't Alex. You know what I mean? Like she would literally just be like, nope, nope, nope. I ain't doing it. So now you got Zaya coming home or just mad or sad in some sort of way. They're gonna go to Gabby.
Mhm.
Right? So now she's gonna be like, well, I don't want you to be sad, like no, because that's how depression hits, and then that's how this generation is way too cool with killing themselves. They are not afraid of that at all. We were not built like that. That's probably like the last thing we were ever told to do. Like, you're going to hell. That's it. Don't kill yourself. Like,
Yeah.
we could do all the sins in the world and be like, forgive me, God, forgive me, God. But we knew you're not killing yourself. Period, point blank in the discussion. And this generation just really does not fear that. Um, so with them being so high profiled and them having all these cameras on them and all of this all the time, I would just think that Gabrielle is gonna be like, I'm down for whatever she wanna do
Mm-hmm.
because she lives here with me. And what I'm not gonna do is watch her be sad every damn day because y'all don't want to call Zaya. That's stupid. You get what I'm saying? So I can only imagine that that's what would happen. Now Wade and his baby moms or his ex wife, I don't know if they were married or not. They got beef. Like you can just tell they don't like each other. You get what I'm saying? Like it is
Mm-hmm.
what it is. But he really don't need Zaya to get money.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like his
Yeah.
career ain't fall off. He didn't have an MC Hammer moment. You know what I mean? To where he's like, well, I'm gonna use my trans kid. No, no. So I think that's a little bit of capping in my opinion. And there are other celebrities who have ex-wives or ex-baby mothers that would never get on the internet and be going, you know what I mean, and be going back. You, whenever y'all ever heard Will Smith's ex, his first son's
Oh yeah, she's
mom,
super quiet. She's super quiet.
she owned a school with them. Nobody knows these things. Like she's on the board of a school with them. She cooks. She's a chef. But that doesn't mean that there wasn't drama
Yeah.
because Jada has spoken about it. You know, they both have actually spoken about it and laughed. Like, remember that time I called you? And I was like, well, bitch, he mine. You know what I mean? Like, so, but it, but I think if you really, really not bitter about what happened with your man, with your ex man, you're kind of like, like whatever
hmm
you have to do would happen behind closed doors. So that's just bringing more views to her as well. So for her to say that he's using it to get some sort of clout for Zaya, then you would actually be doing the same thing because you don't have to do this here on this platform. So that's personal with them, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And they're just trying to, and I don't know, like why is that? And I can't. That would suck for Zaya because I don't want to be putting that. Like, but that's what you're using. You're using this situation to now really come back to be back and forth with your ex man. I wouldn't do that. But if she really does feel this way, what is she supposed to do? You're just gonna keep calling Zaya, I don't know, whatever her original name was. You're just gonna keep disregarding it. We have kids that when my little sister was like 6, she kept telling us to call her Carmen because she just wanted to, yeah, because of that Beyonce shit. I swear, she was like, "Call me Carmen." She wouldn't answer you. Mm, ah, my name is Carmen. Kiana's daughter on all platforms, Netflix, everything. You see Ivy. Her name is Callie.
hmm
Some days she just want to be called Ivy. We not gonna be like, girl, that ain't your name. Like you just be like, all right, Ivy. And you just know eventually that they'll get over it. But what if they don't? What if they just like, you know what? I just got so used to being called Ivy. Just keep calling me Ivy. Are we supposed to just keep arguing with them? I don't
yeah.
know. You get what I'm saying? Like you get to
Yeah. That's
choose your battles, but this is a human being, whether or not she's 15 or 52, she still deserves to have the same amount of respect as you. And you need to be listening to her as the same way the same way you want somebody to listen to you. So it wouldn't matter what her age is. If someone keeps telling you something over and over again, after a while, it's pretty consistent. It's
yeah.
different if you see your child and they're like wishy-washy. They're like, one day I want to be an ice skater. One day I want to do this. I want to be Superman one day, blah, blah, blah. They ain't like, all right, girl, get out of here. Like, but if someone keeps telling you something, keep telling you something, keep telling you something, keep telling you something, this is not a fight with your man. This is a fight with your ex-man. This is a fight that you're having with your child. You're mad because your child wants to be called something else. And they're just saying, all right, fuck it. We're going to honor it.
Yeah. I can't imagine. Dwayne Wade, as a father, right?
Mm-hmm.
Having your son coming to you saying, "This is how I feel," and I know that that conversation is very difficult,
Yeah, I can't imagine how scared.
right? And then
Ooh.
on top of that, he recently started dating, or
Mm-hmm.
excuse me, she recently started dating,
Right,
right?
right.
So,
Ooh.
as a father, right,
Yeah,
how do you, I guess, deal with those feelings?
right. You're right.
How you deal with those feelings? I know it has to be hard because I guess the normal thing in society is for, a man to be with a woman and they have kids and
Mm-hmm.
etc. and all that. And, legacy. And
Right.
you seeing, your legacy kind of not even get started. So I know that it has to be kind of difficult.
Yeah, I mean, I think men deal with things differently because they're naturally driven through their ego. Um, and so when you have boys, and then he had all boys, so
Yeah.
yeah, like I can't imagine how he's like, oh yeah, it's on. But either way, one of those boys could have just been gay.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
tell I tell my sister that all the time. Like, not that any of her boys are gay, but well, like, you wouldn't have been able to do nothing if one of them were. You know what I mean? Like, that's just the reality of just numbers. Numbers don't lie. 1 out of 4 men. Okay. You just or either they're just not saying something, or they're hiding it. They don't want to be, but
They in the
so
closet.
right. So I don't know. To be honest with you, what would have been better or easier for him watching him be a boy liking a boy, and be a girl liking a boy. It couldn't have been easy.
Yeah.
I'm sure he had
That's
a
an
whole,
interesting. That's an interesting point right there.
because he would have
That's
just
an
been
interesting point.
gay. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
so I'm sure that he handled it the best way that he could. I'm sure that it did a lot to his marriage, because I'm sure that she's like, "You got to get over this," and he's probably like in a room, like, "Nah, I would, why not? Like, get your anger out, do what you got to do behind these closed doors, but that's still your child at the end of the day."
But you know what? And now that I think about it, the courage it takes for Zaya to come to her father and say, "Hey, look, this is me." That
You
had to
know,
be very
you know how
difficult.
many times she probably went to Gabby first,
Yeah.
and now Gab got this huge secret. You know
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
mean?
I
That
can
she
see that. I
can't
can
tell
see
her
that happening.
man. You
I
know
can
what
see
I
that
mean?
happening.
She
Yeah.
like, she's trying to respect her privacy at the same time, you know what I mean? But really, like, this is still my husband at the same time. And even in Gabby's books, she's expressed times where she's like, because she's lost a couple of babies, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, so she's expressed times where she had to like violate all of the boys in the house because they like, you gonna clean this, you gonna do this, you gonna do that, and then they would just leave stuff. And she was like, I was so mad because I was feeling like that he wasn't taking me seriously. Like, he wasn't taking the fact that they were overusing me seriously. It happens. It really happens. People are naturally designed to be selfish sometimes. So I don't think that that was a perfect situation at all. I'm pretty sure that it took a minute for him to wrap his mind around that. Like, yo, because
Yeah.
that's not what you expect. That's not what you want. You don't want your child to have to be questioned all the time. Like, you just want them to live their life and mind their business, but she will be questioned forever. On top of the fact that trans people have to forever work to stay the gender that they prefer.
Mm.
It's You have to always be taking something, always be on some sort of med till the day you actually die. So if anything, like, yeah, like, I would feel, me personally, I feel bad. Like, that sucks. I don't have to do that to stay a woman. I'm just gonna be a woman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm just gonna be a woman into the day that these eyes close forever. You got to keep doing something to your body to stay a woman. That can be fun. It can be easy. Why are we all mad at it? You know what I mean? Like, they got to do way more work. You know what I mean?
So I got a
So,
question. I got a question. A male, can
mhm.
they recover? Say like somewhere down the road, he like, you know what? Or she, I keep saying he, and I apologize.
It's
She
okay.
she say, you know what? I don't really want to be a female no more. I want to be a male again. Can they recover? When,
Damn. That's a good question. That's an absolute good question, which is why your question on her age is valid, because you get to change your mind. And she's not going to be the same girl at 18. She's not going to be
mm,
the same girl at 16. She's going to keep growing and keep evolving. And it's not impossible. It's not an impossible thing to happen. So you're right. You're right. I never thought about that. I don't. Damn. That would be interesting, but she would also be older, I would hope, and it'd be then her thing to carry on her own. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
they just get to be supportive. Right now, she's a minor.
Hmm.
Whatever you do to her, you doing to us. Period. You know what I mean? But once she gets of age and she starts to take care of herself, if she decides to be bi or like women and be a woman, I don't know. If she decides that that would be her thing to carry and her thing to explain, if she felt like it, that's why I think gender reassignment surgery is a big deal.
Hmm.
It's a huge deal because this is about identity right now. But once you change your actual body, you can't go back. And there are people that have done that, like didn't the Jenner guy, Jenner, Bruce
Oh,
Jenner.
Bruce Jenner.
He I
Did
don't I, At one
I
point he
don't
didn't
know.
want to
Did
be a
he?
girl anymore.
Yeah, I heard something about
Right?
that.
Like I feel like I heard something about him just, oh, I thought I wanted this, but I don't.
Yeah, yeah.
But
He kind of started, going back on it. That's I heard
yeah.
that at one time. I don't
And
know for sure, but I think I heard it. But
he
that
made
would
that
be,
decision at
oh
the
my god.
latest age he could possibly make. And he still changed his mind. So that question is pretty valid, Nick. Like, I don't know. But I do know that as the parents, I would think that, like, damn, yeah, I went through all of that. You
Yeah,
changed your
yeah,
mind? Yeah,
yeah.
you're right. You're
Because being
absolutely
a
right.
female is tough, man. Being a
It's right.
female is tough.
It's not easy. It's not easy. But there are certain things, and I don't know if I'm gonna get like if anybody would like that I say this, but at the end of the day, it wouldn't matter. It doesn't matter if you want to be a woman. There are certain things that you will never have that a woman is going to always deal with.
Yeah.
So Zaya, as in Zaya, she's not gonna deal with. Well, let me not say that because it depends on whatever she's taking. But ovaries age with you. Uterus ages with you. Those things become heavy on the body that you have to deal with a lot of change.
Hmm.
Hot flashes, those kind of things. They will never have a uterus.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Fibroids and things associated
right,
with, menstrual cycle
right,
and
right, right. So there are going to be things that they won't deal with that we will deal with as we age. And
yeah.
so I get it, but if you're going to be on this team, fight for this team. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Hmm.
use your power, your resources, your whatever to fight for women, not just trans women. You get what I'm saying? Because,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
this is my opinion, because we out here doing the dirty work. You hear what I'm saying? Like, every month we out here doing the dirty work. So if you want to be on this team, I'm cool with that. I don't got no issues, even in vice versa. If a woman wants to transition into being a man, I really don't understand how that would last. Because I can you like Can you put a dick on you? I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't
that's that's I never heard anything about that one right
know.
there.
Right? Like I don't know. But anyway, but again, even if they were to transition into being a man, they would never know the essence of what being a man, especially a black man, would really feel like,
Hmm.
because it's something innate in you. You know what I mean? That they wouldn't have. So my only thing about this type of situation is that if you join in this team, get on board for everybody. Don't just be like, oh, we're they have a right for the trans community to advocate for one another. Just because I think it's really weird that people like kill them and really do wild,
Yeah, yeah, that's
heinous
sad.
things
That's
to
really
them.
sad.
Like, the fuck? Why does it matter? Like, why why does what someone do behind closed doors matter to you? Like, and that's just in general.
To the point where you want to kill them. That's
To the
just
point where you want to literally kill them. Like, that's mind blowing to me.
yeah,
If you
it's
knew
very
what half of these heterosexuals do behind closed doors, y'all be wanting to kill them too. Like, y'all be wanting to kill them too, because you'd be surprised at what your neighbor is doing that this trans person is not even thinking about
hmm.
at all. And a lot of the times, at least every trans person I know, they're not even like really super sexual. It's very sapio, like my mind. Can you get into my mind? Can you? Yeah. Are we so fully connected? I'm like, girl, I'm trying to get laid, like, and they're like, it's more than that, And so you just don't get to assume, and it's just really sad that we're in a world of media, where
Hmm.
media really can control the narrative, but media is only designed to show you an edited version of what the truth is. So you have to like take things with a grain of salt, because I just try to put myself in those situations, because you can't, if I had a child, I would do whatever for them. I don't
Yeah,
care. It's not like back in the day where this was like really dangerous, like, you can't do this because our community is just not going to accept this, and we got to live here. Like, I could see certain, especially certain states and those kind of things, where it was just like, you can't even be gay. You don't
yeah,
even, you know what I mean? Like, the closest you could be is a church boy. Like, in terms of being able to show some sort of flamboyance. Um, it's not like that now. And the older generation don't gotta like it, but that's what it is. It's not like that now. Like, I feel like sometimes the older generation is like, well, we couldn't do that. We ain't do that. And it's like, but yeah, that's why you worked hard, so that we didn't have to. You know what I mean? Like, so that we don't have to deal with that. And that's the purpose of what Zaya is doing. Because there
yeah,
are a lot of kids, there are a lot that just, even in my field that I meet, and they be like, when she was 3, she used to just be like, I'm not a girl, I'm a boy. I'm a boy. I want to be a boy like daddy. If someone's telling you this very early, and they just keep doing it, and now
yeah.
they're 8 and they
That's
saying the same thing, and now they
interesting.
10 and they saying the same thing, is nothing you've done wrong. It's nothing, it's not about you. You know what I mean? I think if everybody can be like, that's the thing. People wonder, did I do this? Like, no, some things are literally like, you couldn't have possibly done that.
That's interesting that you brought that up about the older generation, and the current generation, and the younger generation or whatever. Because I know growing up, I don't recall, right,
Hmm.
that, openness,
Me either.
right? Someone being
Mhm.
that young and saying, "Hey, hey, this is who I am." I don't recall that.
Not
And
at
it
all.
seems like, I don't know, like it just happened overnight. It seems like everybody is just, I guess more free now.
And maybe it was happening, but again, we didn't have so much access to so many people all
So
over
good.
the world.
Yeah, that's true. Social
You know what
media
I
and all that
mean?
other
So
stuff.
with
That's
all
true.
of these people, you're like, oh my God, I love this little girl who's trans and she lives in Arkansas, I would never go there ever in my life. Why would I need to go there? Like, like, so, but you now get to see all of these people and dive into their lives and realize they're just like you. Like they like the same things that you like, and their jokes is just the same way that you like. They just are trying to live their truth. I'm okay with anybody trying to live their truth and living their best lives within their own bodies, because I'm somebody who is always in pain and most people never know. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? And so I just want to be in my own body and not have pain every day when I wake up. So I can't imagine feeling like the body don't belong to me. You know what I mean? So I just, as long as you are not out here being horrible to people and just really trying to hurt somebody, I don't see what the big deal is. I think it just scares people because they think if someone in their world sees this, they might be inspired to do it as well. Like people
Hmm.
are always like, "Oh, they trying to push their agendas on us." Then that means that you're not doing your job as a parent, because nobody should be able to just come up to you and be like, "Be gay," and you're like, "Okay," like that's not how this works. You know what I mean? Like that really is not how this works. There's no way in life that my mom had all of us and thought of me that I was gonna like women.
Hmm.
There's no way she could have conjured that up. Like you know what I mean? Like you just don't know. That's the beauty of having children and raising children. It's a wild ride. You don't know who they're gonna be, or you could just hope is that they're not born with the psychopath gene, so that you don't have to worry about them trying to kill you later on in life, because that's a thing.
Yeah,
That's an
definitely,
it's a
definitely.
thing, and again, like they're not horrible people. As long as they're out here doing their best, that's all you can really do. But people don't think about themselves in these situations. They don't like the way we're like trying to put ourselves in that situation. Most people are just like, oh, that's stupid. Like they just have an opinion about it. And
Hmm.
then it's not until they get humbled by something that is directly related to them. And then now you start to defend it. Um, because now like my my cousin, like I'd have never thought
Yeah.
that but you love your cousin, so you're like, damn, this really could be anybody. So it really is just her access. I think again, she's a high profile child. And so I think that because she is a high profile child, she's doing well with what she has, because she could just be like, I'm gonna be flying, I'm gonna dress this and I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna be like, in the camera, but she's really like, joining foundations and really trying to get children to feel comfortable with who they want to be.
Hmm.
And that is not her that's not propaganda. That's not her trying to put some spidey senses in your children. That's her now letting other children know they can come out of the shadow. And then now everybody's shocked because there are so many kids coming out of the shadow. So that's like, damn, I would feel bad if I was a parent. Like, you were hiding that this whole time by yourself? Like that, I can't imagine what it feels like, but I wouldn't want my child to be
Yeah,
scared
that's
about it
true.
by themselves,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
just in their room every day, like feeling crazy. That's how you get online, start talking to weird people. Nah, I'd much rather you just tell me and we'll figure it out together.
yeah.
So I think they're doing really well with what they got um in front of them. And so the best thing he can do as a father is use his status. Why he's sure, all right, you're gonna be a girl, you're gonna be the flyest girl. Period. You know what I mean? And I'm mad at it. Like, but he is going to have cringy moments. He's gonna have to watch her kiss little white boys because clearly she likes white boys.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah. I can't
um,
imagine though, like
no,
just
it's gonna be
like
different.
you said, right? Your child, you never want your child to feel any pain,
Hmm.
emotional, physical, whatever the case may be. And then
Right.
when you actually have to deal with that, you know, you have to be able to step back and put your thoughts, your feelings aside and say, okay, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
For my child, you know what? I'm gonna do whatever it takes to ensure, that this child or my child is not in pain.
Right. Right.
But the journey to get to that point, some people just can't travel it,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that's tough. That's
It
tough.
is tough. And he is somebody who's high profile. So he has access to resources like therapy
Yeah,
and
that's
those
true.
kind of things that, regular Joe up the block don't
That's
got.
true.
He like, what the fuck is going
That's
on?
true.
He don't know how to process this. He's mad. He's like, my son is being different.
Yeah,
So they're just
yeah, yeah. And
they're
I didn't even think
spiraling.
about that too, because you're
Yeah, I'm
right.
sure he
He
went to
has
therapy for
access.
this.
He has access to talk to, a therapist and kind of work through his issues as well.
I am
You
certain
you
that
are 100%
probably
correct.
I wouldn't even be shocked if there was someone there when she revealed herself.
Yeah.
Like, hi, my name is Melissa, and I'm just here to navigate.
Kind of work through this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
because they have the access to do so. Um, so I can only hope that their story helps someone who's just regular schmegular, because they could at least say, well, I saw my favorite ball player go through this, and so this is not incredibly abnormal. Like, I'm not the
Yeah.
only one that had to go through this, and he seems to be handling it well. They don't know what he went through, right,
Mhm.
to get to that space, but I hope that it can calm people down, because we don't know what's to come. I got to figure out how to call people theys without feeling like I'm speaking incorrectly, like grammatically incorrect.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do that shit to save my life. I want
Yeah.
to respect you, so I just call everybody boo. Hey boo, hey boo,
Yeah. Just make it easy, right?
hey boo, you look
Yeah.
good, because I don't want to disrespect you, but I also am human and I'm not necessarily used to speaking
Yeah.
in that
It
kind
takes
of
time to
way.
really understand.
So if it had to be done in my house every day, like, mom, just call me a they. Like, if you don't get your ass somewhere, like, you wouldn't know what to say. And then right now you have to think about the friends your children are gonna bring home.
Mhm.
Like, my friend recently just told me her son brought home someone who identified as a they, and she kept calling the person whatever their parent gender was. And her son was really sad. And her son was really mad at her because he felt like she wouldn't respect his friend. And she felt
Mhm.
really bad. Like, I wasn't trying to be disrespectful. And I'm like, damn, wow. We're in this age of this. Like, I never
Yeah.
thought that I would have to deal with anything like that, or like, um, like somebody coming to you and saying that they're dating some young girl saying she's dating a boy who's bi.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not supposed to use my personal judgment to be like, girl, I don't know if you can compete with that, but like, I have to now be like, well, how do you feel about that? Like, are you going to be comfortable with that? Men are wearing nail polish and dresses. I don't know who's gay, who's not. I don't know. I don't know anymore. I saw your post that was like, can y'all explain to me what's going on? And just so much stuff.
It's a lot of stuff going
It is
on.
a
I just want to
lot.
understand, right? I just want to
So let
understand.
me tell
Somebody
you
help me
something.
tell you about let me ask you about uh the recent, I guess, picture of Jonathan Majors. Did you
Oh
see that?
yes, yes, I did, and it
So
was
he
like
got
really a big
a little
deal.
yeah, that was a really a big deal.
Yeah,
What did you think about that?
I thought it was super Marvin Gaye, super back in the day.
Uh
So I don't know what the hell everybody issue was, because they was sweating Prince and sweating Marvin. And when I watch them now, and with my mom, I cackle, I crack up. I'm like, y'all like this? Like,
yeah,
I mean, it was a thing. It was a thing at the time. So I don't really. I again, my opinion. If Jonathan Majors, because if I'm not mistaken, he's married or he's with a white woman.
he a Virgo too.
Yeah. Which makes sense to why he's that fluid, I would say. Like
Hmm.
he can get away with like being fluid in that kind of way. Because the guy from Snowfall is the same way to me. That Idris guy outside of Snowfall, that he really kills it. He's super. I don't even know how to describe that, but they're that photo shoot reminded me of like the 80s, like an 80s R&B guy, like
Yeah.
yeah, I just think the internet is getting really, really comfortable with just attacking everything. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't even matter what it is. Like Rihanna can't call her baby fine, you know.
It's like some everything,
Like
everything, right?
dumb stuff because people with thumbs are so bored because they're not working or something. Because I don't know how you're able to do all of this, but it's just dumb and it's super attacking and it's only attacking our people. You think white people had a problem with that photo shoot? They thought he was sexy as fuck, probably.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm certain
They
they were
probably
like,
looked at it and took
ah,
it for what it was
you
worth.
know,
Yeah.
what a hottie, like they
Yeah.
thought that was the hottest thing in the world. In the world. What is so different from that photo shoot versus what's the I can't. It's so bad because they're so good, but I don't know why I don't like them together. I'ma leave the door open. Those two,
Oh, Bruno
Bruno and
Mars and his
Anderson Pack. I
yeah, yeah.
love them. I love them separately. Something about them together. It I guess because maybe in my head I feel like they're imitating like the Temptations era. Like as
Uh,
opposed to it being Bruno has always been this way.
uh-huh.
Um, but what's so different in their videos? They have on the same exact kind of outfit like a Soul Train theme. Like I don't get it. It just seemed like it was an era. It was an
Yeah.
era photo shoot.
'Cause
Like
back in the day at Soul Train, they had on some crazy outfits.
thank you. Taco meat hanging out their shirt, tight pants. You saw their print in their pants.
Yeah, yeah,
They weren't wearing nobody's boxes. I promise you that.
yeah.
You
That
get
is
what I'm
true.
saying? So like, what are y'all doing? History is always gonna repeat itself. It's one of the only factual things that is proven, right?
Mhm.
His history is always gonna repeat itself. I just think that people want to stir up things and people and but if he was married or with a black woman, I think he would have gotten a totally different response. That's just my opinion though. But I do think that it's something about like Omari Hardwick is hot, right? The guy from Ghost.
Okay.
But he's married to a white woman, and then once people found out, it was almost like he fizzled out. Nobody gave a shit anymore about how all of his sex scenes is popping. You know what I mean? Like how you was just drooling over him. But yeah, I don't think anything about that was flamboyant in the sense of like I think he's gay. Like, what are y'all doing? This was a photo shoot. Like, y'all favorite
Yeah.
rappers have photo shoots with what kilts on, like skirts
Dresses
and
and
dresses and nail polish, and they get weaves and beads and this was actually a very sexy photo shoot to me. Like if you grown, I don't
mm,
understand why any grown person wouldn't have seen that and thought, oh nice, okay, cool, I see what's happening here. But they just want to attack things and he's now, big. He's getting more, well, he was already, in my opinion, big, but this Creed thing is about to skyrocket him.
yeah.
And so it's like, well, let's talk about him. People love Michael B. Jordan. I mean, I love Michael B. Jordan, but people love him. And then Lori came, and then he got dumped, and now y'all clowning him. Y'all was just all on this boy's but balls, like, oh, I mean, for years since he was in The Wire, and I knew him before The Wire. But let's just start with The Wire. Y'all been sweating Mike from The Wire. And so now Lori dumps him, and now he just goes into the chambers of all these other niggas she was dating. No, 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 no. Yeah, they're just flip floppy. They're just very flip floppy. And when I say they, I'm saying our people are very flip-floppy. It's love, and it's not a unconditional love. It's very conditional. It's very, can you give me what I want? If you don't, or if you switch up, or if you want to do something new, we coming for you. We coming for
Yeah.
you. Everybody was just on Chris Rock's team. He got slapped. Team Chris Rock. Now he got a special. He's talking about Will. Oh, he's fucking. What, he just shut up already? What the fuck is wrong with y'all? What, he can't do nothing right. Yeah, I'm mad that he stayed slapped and didn't do nothing about it. Now he's fighting in a different way using his comedy, his words. That's the best thing he got. That's what he could do. And y'all mad? Oh, I wish he just get over it. Why? Because y'all like Will again?
You know, I
Because
thought I thought that the what I think the name of it was what, selective outrage,
yes, yes.
and I think that was very appropriate for,
Like,
you
come
know,
on.
everything that's going on. It's just like you're gonna pick and choose what you get outraged about. So it's kind of crazy.
That's why I sometimes it's like people are always like, why are you not on a, like, why you don't have a podcast? Why you just won't press play? You know, like, why you won't videotape yourself? And it's like, as I really don't know what I'm gonna say about my own people sometimes. And I'm black as fuck, and I'm not rich. So you say something to me that I don't like, I'm going to respond.
Yeah.
I'm going to respond. I don't know if I'm there yet, but it's always because I'm like, I don't want to say something too crazy because y'all get on my nerves, like for real, on my nerves, especially women. Black women get it the worst. It doesn't matter. You got to be perfect. You got to do everything somebody wants you to do, or they trash, they this, they that. You know, it's just absolutely ridiculous. Like that Chloe Bailey girl, you
Hmm.
know, she must be, I know that she's fly, and she's incredibly talented. Before Beyonce picked them up, she was incredibly
So
talented.
who's Chloe Bailey? Who was that?
Chloe has a sister named Hallie. They have a group. Hallie is the new Little Mermaid, the new black
Oh,
Little
okay. I
Mermaid.
got you. I got you.
They're doing well. They're Beyonce's proteges, but they were talented before Beyonce picked them up, like signed them. They have always been talented, but Chloe is she just always was a beast. She was just always a beast. You just always saw Beyonce in her. Like you could tell that she influenced a lot of her music. You know what I mean? But
Mm,
Chloe is a producer. She does mad of these rappers beats. You know, like she's beyond. She's way ahead of her time right now. But she must be really fly because everything she does, they like have a problem with it. So like she dropped a song with Chris Brown recently and was like, of course she would drop a song with a woman beater. Like
oh
Chris
wow.
Brown just dropped a song with her, the artist Her, who's awesome.
Uh,
Everybody respect her. Don't nobody talk trash about her. She he just did a song with her. None of y'all dragged her. He did a song with Ella May. None of y'all dragged her. Like, so yes, it is very selective. Just pulling it back to Zaya and the Wade family. I just think they're doing the best with what they were given. And I think there's really nothing you can do if your child is just being incredibly consistent about who they are. You know what I mean? Like, unless you're just willing to fight every day in your household, I wouldn't want to do that. I just would be like, I, you know, like, all right, you know, I'm pretty sure that they have their reservations. I'm pretty sure that when they're alone in their room, they're like, we really hope that this works out well for her, you know?
yeah.
Because they're still gonna worry about her, but she's gonna be like, I'm free, you know, she don't
Yeah.
know. And as she gets older, she'll really, really be confronted with a lot. And so I really hope that this is in fact her final decision because she
Mhm.
is young, like you said, because that will be worse if she just all of a sudden doesn't feel the same way. And then, but then she might not want to necessarily change her appearance, like in gender, but she might identify as a they after a while because
Mm,
she might, you know what I'm saying? Because
yeah.
she might not, she might feel both because your body's still gonna grow. So I don't know what that would feel like in terms of her body growing as a male, but she's because I mean, again, unless she gets some sort of assignment surgery, you still have a penis in front of you,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's still gonna do what it do. It's still gonna you still gonna wake up and it's gonna do. You still, you know what I mean?
He,
Like
like you said, it's gonna do his job.
it's gonna do its job exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I don't know, but there have been like the Bruce Jenners, who they go and they get breasts, but then they're like, oh no, I don't want to do this anymore. So I really just hope that because she has such support and way more access to knowledge of how she should move, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of therapy involved in all of this. Um, that she'll make the right decisions for herself as she grows up. But as long as her family loves her, her brothers are good with this, and they seem like they were really cool, and that they love her. And the mom, you're gonna have to accept it at some point, or you won't have your child in your life. Her biological mom. But I would presume that it's not like you got to see her every day because she's not in full custody of her. So she will have to get over it.
Yeah.
But as far as Wade goes, I'm pretty sure he went through a lot of talking and crying and therapy and anger. Just because life's not fair in that kind of way. You see so many things you want for your children, and then they just say, "Nah, I don't want to do that." Like
They throw him a
I'm,
curveball.
yeah, you're like, what?
Yeah, that's
That's
true.
not what I planned. But
That is true.
we do not raise children to be us. We raise children to be adults. They will be adults someday. So your job is to just make sure they're a good one, a
Yeah,
good
that's
person.
true.
Anything else is really nothing you could do. They could literally not want to wash their ass. You'd be like, okay, you got the worst hygiene. You got there's
Yeah.
nothing you could do because she's an actual full person of her own. She's not a plant. You can't just manipulate her, water. No, it's an actual person. So you just kind of got to go with the flow. And then he has other sons. So as far as like grandchildren, legacies, that kind of
Mhm.
stuff, he got that in the bag still.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think they'll be okay, but it is something different. It is something that older people are still not going to understand too much, but it's a difference in not understanding but being respectful, and not understanding and just feeling like you're entitled to be like, that shit is crazy and it's dumb. No,
Hmm.
no, because when they were younger, there was something that their parents were like, so that's crazy. Yeah, that's my thoughts on that. But
That was
Miss,
awesome.
yeah,
That was
yeah.
awesome. But we're gonna end it. We're gonna end it here. We had a,
Good.
a awesome conversation.
We
As
did.
always, the conversation was awesome. We got the block hot, and we out.
Yeah. Bye.